Hello, lady and gents. It's Christina, and I'm back. Today, we're going to discuss faith. So, if I had to title the message, it would be "Where's Your Faith?" I have to tell you guys where this message come from. I got to give you the background to it because it's important. And you too may have the same testimony as this young man had. So, he shared with me that he had lost his fiance to cancer. And due to that traumatic event in his life, he didn't feel like he and God had anything to talk about. He felt like he couldn't see the love of God in such a tragic event. That broke my heart in so many different ways for him. It really broke me up inside, and I've been wrestling with it ever since our conversation. And we have to know that there is a righteous anger under the appropriate circumstances, but sin not. I know we get angry because things happen in life. I know we get frustrated because we're stuck in this vicious cycle of things happening in life. I know we feel lost when we lose certain people in our life. But don't blame God. Don't let your faith fall by the wayside because you're so broken up about this event that has happened in your life. What you should do, what you should try to do, is see God in it. In everything you face in life, see God in it. As it states in the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, it tells us that there is a time to be born, there is a time to die. It tells us that there is a time to weep and there is a time to cry. There is a time to embrace and there is a time to resist embracing. There's a time to be silent and then there's a time to speak. So we must trust that for every occasion in this human life, there is an occasion for every event in our life, and we have to trust God in it. The reality of being a believer in Christ is that we don't belong to ourselves. The Bible states in Romans chapter 14 and 8 that if we live in God. And when we die in Christ. So either way it goes, we don't belong to us. We belong to God. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. And at the end of that verse in John 3:16, it says that whosoever believes in him won't perish, but have everlasting life. So God is the resurrection and he is the life. In John 11:26, it states, everyone who believes in me will never die. Don't you believe that on today? I know I do. I'm trusting God with that. I believe that with all my heart. When I lost my Ganny to ovarian cancer, I thought I would never stop crying. I thought I would never stop crying. And I felt like my world had ended. Like I just felt like it was over. But I don't know how many of you would believe this, but I can only tell you what I saw. On that night of her funeral, I was laying in the bed and I was crying and I was crying and I was crying. Then I fell asleep crying. And then I woke up and I pulled the covers from over my eyes and I seen her spirit just there looking at me. Just looking. She didn't say nothing. She was just looking. And I felt like that was her telling me that she was okay. And if anybody knew my grandma, she was she was her. Her name was Shirley Wade. They called her Watusi. And she was a tough one. And most of her life she lived for her. She didn't serve God most of her life, that at least that I know of. And in the end, as I was helping my mom take care of her, just to see her make things right with God, reading the Bible, praying, like that was evidence that she was going to be okay. She was going to be all right when she passed on to the next. So I want to encourage y'all. I know we have some people grieving right now. I know there are people grieving 21 years later, still grieving over a loss of a loved one. But I want to encourage you to see God in it. I want to encourage you to use that as a wake up call. Like, I got to get my life right. Like, I really and sincerely and truly need to get my life right before God comes back for me. That's what you need to see in it. Don't see it as if God took someone from you that that you'll never see again. Because if they were in Christ, and if you are in Christ, and if you maintain and sustain your relationship with Christ, you will see them again. I believe that. I believe that on this day. I believe that. I really do. So I just want to encourage you guys, no matter what, have faith in God. Check your faith daily. Check your circle daily. Check your friends daily. Is it is are those relationships resulting in your spiritual increase? Not gonna hold y'all too long. I wanted to make the video short, but God bless y'all. And as always, I thank you for your time. Be blessed.